Hi everybody, still incapacitated with my broken ankle, so I'm out of the workshop, so I need something to do. So what I'm going to make is some paracord duck core lanyards. These are ones that I've already sorted out, so just a plain one at the moment. One that I've already added the paracord onto the back of, with some loops added to it, and another one already festooned with wildfowling jewellery. So watch this space. So before moving on, got a card sent through after my accident, and it reads as: Dear Al, me and the gang are missing you. Thought you'd come up to try and shoot us, but one of the lads said you saw you crawling on your belly trying to eat cow shit. Being quiet here without you. We do enjoy leading you a dance. Maybe see you next year, Foxy and friends. So that's very nice of them, yes. Right, start off with. So what I'm going to do is make a paracord lanyard just from scratch. The colours, you're going to use two different colours, so sort of like a woodlandy camouflagey colour, but also a bright orange as well. Just makes it easy to see if you drop it. So, this is how we make them. So, first of all, equipment that we need: tape measure, little lighter, little flamethrower one, that's just handy for me to use. Set of these things, can't remember what they're called, but they're handy. Snipe's nose pliers or something like that I'd do. And obviously paracord. So what we need first is going to make through the main braiding. We will need two 10-foot pieces of paracord. This will give us approximately a 30-inch length of braiding that we can use as the main lanyard. Right, so I've got the centre point of both 10-foot pieces, crossed them over, so I've got an orange and a camouflage on one side, orange and camouflage on the other. So what I'm going to do is just fold that one over, so both of the camouflage ones are at the bottom and the orange one crosses across the top. So first of all, treat this one as a top-in. I'm going to cross it over, in between the back of the orange and the first camouflage, and then fold it over. Pull it all through, and then with the orange one on my left hand side, cross that round the back, in between the camouflage and the orange on this side, and then to the bottom on the left hand side. So now you can see that both orange ones are now at the bottom. I'm going to do the same again with the camouflage. So behind the back, between the two on the left hand side and through, pull that one through, and then the camouflage one on the left hand side, in between the two on the right from the back, across the front and pull through. So that's the basic knot, and all you need to do is carry on for another 30 inches to make the full length of the lanyard. So there we go, approximately 30 inches of braided band, braided paracord. So if you want it a little bit longer or a little bit shorter, just have to measure it up and make it to whatever you prefer. There is some additional cord left over, but we're still going to do something with that just yet. So what we need to do next is feed a couple of these strands through the end point of the cord. So I'm just going to put these through, open up a loop at the end, and then 2 bits of cord that are left over. See which way it sits best, that way. I'm just going to feed these through. One there, and the next one. Fingers and thumbs, there we go. And that's the loop sorted. So, we've got 4 strands left over. 2 of them are going to go straight down the centre. And then over the top of it, with the camouflage ones, what I'm going to do is a standard, what do they call it? Cobra weave. I've also seen it called a Solomon bar as well. So that's basically across the front, in a loop, over the top, and then round the back. Pull that tight. There we go. And then what we're going to do is the same on the opposite side this time. We're going to loop it round the back, behind it, and then through that loop. So basically one strand will carry on all the way up the front and the other strand carries on all the way up the back. You don't have to do it just with those 2 colours. What you can do is mix it up, so you can use one, in this case an orange and the camouflage. To be totally honest, you can have the whole thing the same colour if you really wanted to. It's entirely up to you. So same again, across the front, over, through the loop at the back, and then same again, opposite way. There we go. So I'll continue with that till I've got about an inch or so, inch and a half. So now I've gone one way, what I'm going to do is work it back so it doubles all this up. So I'll just spin it round. This cord stays at the front because it's what it's going to be doing is sitting through this little gap here. So that way, round the back. Just pull this one tight to make sure it fits. There we go. Sits into that loop. And then just carry on exactly the same all the way back. Just like that. Now what I need to get rid of is these 2 strands, fold these behind, cut them and melt them just back into position. So I just need to finish this one off. Before I do that, there are different methods or different knots that you can use to put on this last section here. One way of doing it is using the Cobra weave but tying it the same way each way, so you end up with a spiral effect coming down. I ain't done that one yet, but I probably will do. Another one that you can use is this one, which is a snake knot. So it's like a little tube, a little neater. 2 strands going through, but when it comes to the end you need to cut them off and melt them like I've done with this one. I've also put a Celtic knot on 2 of the strands and then put the loops on afterwards. So again, it doesn't have to be the same knot at the bottom each way. There are different methods you can use. So what I've just done here is just cut those strands that were sticking out underneath the top part of the bar. So what I'm going to do now is just melt these over and then just press them into the press the melted strands down and just stick them to the others. The reason why I've put them down here, I didn't want to put them onto the orange section, just so ended with like little burnt sections up here. Down on this section they'll just disappear that little bit easier. And I'll just cut that a little bit. Probably left it a little bit too short. So I'll just grab hold of this one. There we go. And quick blast. Those two, and press it on. There we go, that's better. And disappears. So the next thing I need to do is put a couple of loops on the bottom of this lanyard with these 2 spare strands. Now I've seen a couple of different knots used. Basically what you need to have is a slip knot, but one that will stay tight to hold your cordless on, but every now and again that you might need to take them off. So what I'm going to do is show you the one that I prefer. It's almost like a stopper knot if you're ever going climbing, wrapped around a few times and it's fed back on itself. Pulled tight, makes an extremely tight knot, very difficult to come apart. So what I'll do is I'll show you that one. So first of all, with one of the strands, make a loop about the size you want it. This piece of cord behind, and then you want to wrap it round. Doesn't need to be tight because you're going to feed the rest of the strand up through the centre. So you're taking it through about 3 times. Just one more pass at the back, and then I'm going to feed it back through, which is a little bit fiddly, through the top one, and I'm going to pull it tight. Now the knot that's left, basically as it pulls down it tightens itself up, so it makes an extremely tight knot, as you can see. Doesn't move very easily on the strand, and the longer it's set like that, the tighter it'll become. Once you're out and about and you're out on the foreshore or wherever you are, no doubt it'll get wet at some point. Once it gets wet, it seems to tighten up even more. And then same on the opposite side, just make sure you've got them at the length that you want them. And fit it to the core. Right, so that's the main part of lanyard done. What we need to look at next is putting an extra band across the top, just to make it a little bit wider, to make it a bit more comfortable on the neck. So this one here, as you can see, the strand is sort of like a sandy camouflage and a woodland camouflage, and then the sandy camouflage going along the top. And basically what that is, a cobra bar going once and then coming back again. That is a total of 25 foot of material. That's one of them that I've done opposite way around here. This strand has got a brown and woodland camouflage paracord, and then the woodland camouflage paracord going along the top. Now it all depends again what you prefer. So that's about a 10-inch strip altogether, going from the centre 5-inch either side. You start from one side, you work your way over, and then you work your way back. You can do, if you want, just put one strand going across the top, make it a little bit longer, but again it all depends on how much material that you want to use. And like I say, this takes 25 foot of paracord. So what I'm going to do with the one that I've got here, I'm going to make it bright orange across the top. Might have a preference for a different colour. To be honest, it's entirely up to you. You can make them out of pretty much whatever you want. So let's get cracking with these. So find centre point lanyard. So it wants to be about there. Take it on down, I think. There we go. Open that up, and then with a 25 foot strand, feed it through, and then just find a centre point for it. So once again, I'll just be carrying on with a cobra weave. So over the top, round the back. The only problem is here that you have plenty of material just to start with. So tighten that up. So this strand always stays to the top. Again, if you want to, you can have it multicoloured, but I'll show that in a different video. There we go, that's it started, and I'll just carry on with this. So that's the first part done. So what I've got to do, turn it over and then work it back the opposite way, and makes this a double thickness. When we're doing each strand, it should fit into the gaps in between, so it's neatens it off a little bit more. Give it a good nice tug to make sure it's tight. Over the top, round, through again. Pull all the cord through, pulling it tight, and again it fits in between the two. So there we go. And all I've got to do is continue with this until I've made it all the way to the end. So, see you in a bit. There we go, top loop sorted. So I've got these two strands here. What I have done, or what I will do rather, is one of them I'll finish off and melt it off and stick it to the back. The other one I'll feed through here and make it for an additional lanyard for either a dog whistle or a widgeon whistle or something like that. So there we go, let's try and feed it through. There we go, and then we just need to get rid of that one. So, nearly done. The only thing that I'm going to finish off with is adding a couple of additional loops. So, you can see that I've got one here. So basically, main lanyard, which has got the two loops at the bottom for one call. I'm going to put one on one side and another one on another side. This one here is for, like I said, either a dog whistle, widgeon whistles, things like that. You can put additional loops on, it's entirely up to you. Very easy to add additional loops on. So what I'm going to do is show you how to make the first one. Right, so for this we need two pieces that are 28 inches long. So there's one. I'll just cut the other one. Same length. Burn all the edges of those. So what we're going to do, like we did for the bottom loops, strand, wrap it around about 3 or 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and then feed it through the centre. You can get paracord needles that might make this job a little bit easier. But anyway, fed through, tighten it up. Pull those two ends nice and tight. There we go. Then what we need to do is get his main lanyard and pick where we want to put it. So about there, I think will do be fine. Again, it all depends on how many loops you want to put onto your lanyard altogether. What I'll do is I'll feed it through and then I'll just put it round again just to fix it in place. There we go. So then loop round, 1, 2, 3, and just feed it through. Through that section, pull it tight. There we go. Just want to neaten it up on either side. So I have the loops about the same size. So that's one done. Exactly the same on the opposite side. There we go. Faffing about. Same again. About the same length. And all I need to do, if you want to, just neaten those two up so they're the same length. Make sure they're really tight. Put a couple of coils on. There you go. All sorted. Coils attached. Around the neck. All ready to go. Well, I'll have to wait till next season now, and hopefully my ankle's all sorted and I don't break it again. But if you want to make one yourselves, you've got an idea of how to do it, there are other videos on YouTube. But if you don't want to make one yourselves, just get in touch with us and I should be able to sort something out for you. I'll probably put a few of the others on my website and on my sales page, and I'll do 1 or 2 through the year, I think. Other than that, guys, I shall see you next week and at the Northern Shooting Show. Don't forget, make sure you get your early bird tickets and I'll see you there. See you later.